Ferrocla, Boabe Abrenay, Ushakajira, Egocho, Asemowema. So, I'm over Gocha, I'm over Gocha,
You can share one example.
How many person here?
Your man get your man get excuse. But Jim's coming.
Who?
Jim could not come here. They're not Jim get excuse.
The man saying going like bro for Joseph Butler. The election cannot be won. He's saying going for inauguration.
I really wanted to hear from you.
Yeah?
I said I really wanted to hear from you. Are we putting the crowns on the post that crown? I love the post because they are warrior.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
They put their expression in all of their songs.
Even that gospel song, they can sing with you.
Yeah.
So we'll get started right after this. For the engine is still on today. So many things happening in Liberia. But I wanna also dissect this information that I've sent to Liberia. Let's get a view of other people. All right, folks, let me say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are watching us from. This is the conversation. I'm here with Papi Xavier Colley, very brilliant Liberia. Mama, you stayed journalist, or you former journalist?
The profession does not call for anyone to be formal.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
Also,
the level I am, I can be a media development specialist.
okay. Also, so once a journalist, always a journalist.
Always a journalist.
That's good. That's good. I mean, that's a. I don't think you can even retire because I've seen some very old hands stay in the business, like 50-50 stay there. Philip.
Exactly, and how you call it? I mean, the profession does not call for that, but at the end of the day, no matter your strength has wear away,
Mm-hmm.
the best thing you can do, they can still call on you because they still need your idea to be able to build the capacity of others.
All right.
So that's it. That's how unique it is.
Okay. That's good. Hey, about Pena watching from Ghana. What's up, man? So I mean, what you want to start from? You want to start with the letter for, or you want to discuss what happened yesterday in Foya?
First of all, everything happening in Liberia is concerning.
Right.
Lots of issues with less than 9.5 days to go to the polls.
Right.
There are some creepy and scary things happening. I saw this gentleman in a pool of blood who jumped
Man.
from a speeding vehicle,
Yeah.
and he narrated some very horrifying moment.
Yeah.
So these are hard times in our country.
You know,
It's
talking about that I mean, it's a good thing to put on this video, but the people who did the recording, I thought they would have even assisted me. I did cover him first before you. I saw the video. I felt so embarrassed about the guy. Someone is
yeah.
dying and needing help, but we are only concerned about the video.
The political aspect of it. It was
Yeah,
just their concentration was just about the political aspect, but rather the sanity and dignity of that gentleman was never what they were concerned about. To the
no,
extent where he was even crying that, can you guys take me
came
to
to
the
the hospital.
hospital?
Yeah,
Take me to the hospital. My brother is dying. Can you contact the requisite authority so that they can be able to chase the vehicle in question? But some redundant and stupid questions were asked repeatedly. Oh, I'm taking this video, I'm sending it to the US Embassy, I'm taking this video, I'm sending it to this other person. I mean, it doesn't make no sense. The guy is dying. He came for rescue, you know?
people just feel that uh, there is no crime in America.
This is it is the worst part of
It's the
right
worst part
now.
of the world.
Right now, last night when I drove in the city of Philadelphia, you know what happened in Philadelphia right now? There are a lot of gangsters who says they broke, they need money, government is not getting them money, so they are main intention. I mean, they just going from store to store, just buzzing people's store.
Yeah.
So now, like the police, last night the police had to deploy all in the city.
Wow.
Full Locker store, and when they bust it, all those big store. The next thing they were moving on to was little BB liquor store. And when they came into Wilmington, but you don't try it. At the end of the day, you gotta go. So I mean, it happens in America. It happens in a part of the world. All we need to do is, I mean, to put in the necessary precautionary measures to be able to protect the sanity of our country.
Yeah.
It's crucial for us at this time. It's crucial for us. I see people celebrating. Oh, like you talk about us looking at the communication from the U.S. State Department. That communication is not only directed to one particular group of people.
It's not.
That's one thing we should take into consideration. The communication is intended for everybody, every man or woman, even the media, directed to the media as well. Because some of the media professionals in the country are acting very unprofessional, very unprofessional. They have put aside the microphone, but rather put in personal feelings.
So
So it's key.
yeah, you can see the communication on your screen.
Yeah.
All right. So like I posted in one of the chat room, I said this communication is a time trap. You know, it's not restricted to Liberian government official. It's not
It's
restricted
not.
to political parties. The letter is very, very clear. It
Mm-hmm.
is intended to restrict anybody who thinks that if a culture or someone we have in America. It will
Of
not,
course.
if you go about to go and campaign and you don't campaign well and you think that you will have like back in the days, people once they cause trouble they just send their family abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So this letter is saying that it will not happen. If you cause
Mm-hmm.
a trouble in Liberia, that will happen in Lofa. If you feel that you're a political guru and you cause trouble in Lofa and you think you will send your family abroad, it's not going to happen. So this letter is a time trap.
Of course.
Welcome, my man. They may lecture you somebody on our side. So this like the United States Department is committed to supporting and advancing democracy in Liberia
Mm-hmm.
and around the world. So today I'm announcing a new visa restriction policy under section 212A, then 3C of the Immigration Nationality Act for those honor manning democrats. So yeah, for those. Now one person.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
one person for those honor manning demo. So people
So
celebrating this letter. I just
like for this letter, it came in at the right time because this is not it's not unique to our democracy
right.
because there have been there have been training issues in the country or critical attention of the State Department. So, for example, former Vice President was in Basel. He made a very derogatory remark.
Right.
A very derogatory remark, which is very provocative. At the end of the day, our statement who's supposed to be the custodian of our peace, who's supposed to say, okay, let's go into this process, let's maintain the peace, but rather go completely from the Farmington Declaration and making inflammatory comments that will instill fear in the Liberian people. This communication is also intended for him.
Right.
If, for example, Mr. Yege Koluba can say, go and compare his tally sheets with other political party if it does not coincide with what he has, or if it is different, it contravenes what he will have no option, but rather he will not consult anybody, but rather go to the butch.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to the butch, according to him, he's not going to the butch to come with his single hand. He's going to the bush, whatever, according to him, whatever he's going to find in the bush, he'll bring it to town. So who he think he is? This communication is also intended for him. Communication is also intended for him. This communication is also intended for when Mr. President and other folks, specifically Eugene Nangbe, can say, no matter what you do, election, election is for George Weah. To the ballot, or are you going to subvert the results, or intending cause chaos, perpetuating, going to put the army in the street? Here's the commander in chief. Put the army in the street. So this communication is also intended for Mr. President and his likes. This communication is intended for everybody that is participating in the political process. But the good thing about it, like I said, this is not unique. This is the very first time for such a communication with few days to the holding of pool in our country coming from the United States State Department, signed by the Secretary of State. So, I mean, it's very important. We as Liberians, whether be a position, opposition, be a ruling establishment, one thing we have in common now is the peace and sanity of our country. Because our international partners have invested a lot into that country. Nobody is willing to see our country to retrogress where we were before. God forbid. I have my 5 years old son. Very good school, speaking good English, pronunciation are good. So at the end of the day, you expect me to sit here and support you for something that you think you will derail his progress? No. I mean, it is about time for every Liberian 9 more days to go to elections. Let's make the case. Every political party, let's go out there. Like the situation in Lofa is very much condemnable, whether from the opposition, and we hope that the government can speed up the process. We hope the government can speed up with that investigation to tell us what went wrong. It's scary. It's scary. Very much scary. It's about time whoever wants to be that leader. 9 more days, 8 more days. Go out, make your case. People, what you can do. The people, you are rejected. If you are not selected, or if you are not fortunate to be elected, whoever is elected, the process, accept the results, let the country move on.
Right.
You
All
know?
right, let's bring James on. But before that, probably sometime we lost you a little bit. Then we can get you. So you want to get closer to your phone, so that we don't be what when you're talking we can lose you. Then you come back. So get a phone
Okay.
closer to you. James, welcome to the conversation. We're discussing two major issues. Number one, the saga, the Lofa Foya saga, that have allegedly cost the life of three persons, even though the police said two persons are unconscious. But I saw of another video this morning with an individual believed to be a citizen being beaten and helpless. Because I don't want to say dead, I cannot confirm that, but the position I saw him in, I'm not sure if he's going to survive that, because he was in the midst of many gentlemen who were just women always were involved, beating him, and he was very unconscious. But the police said that two persons are unconscious and they are not reported any death of the incident. Number two, we're discussing the letter that was sent to Liberia. Mind you, that letter was sent. I want to believe the reason that letter was sent to Liberia at this time is because they delayed the Sierra Leone letter, and Sierra Leone have already messed up the election before they send there. So in my mind, like Papi was just saying, is a precaution, for our process in 9 days to come. So what are your view? And then you want to control the floor, the conversation today.
Yeah, thank you, brother Joshua Power and Papi. Thank you. Good to see you. Uh, even though I got to find you after here, but we'll talk that behind the scene.
Sorry.
Yeah, but on a serious note, we want to condemn whatever took place in Lofar, whether you know from the CDC or Unity Party or whoever is responsible for whatever happened there. We want to condemn it in the strongest term. I don't think our politics in Liberia should be taking the lives of people because of, our way of conveying our messages, or because we want to be in control, or because whatever our objective or goals are at that point in time. I feel that it should be condemned in the strongest term. The loss of life of Liberians for political reason is just unacceptable, Joshua. Somebody woke up this morning with the hope of supporting their political party, with the hope of, moving in the streets to campaign for their parties, and then they got shot and dead. If you try to also look at it from a critical standpoint, you will say the reason why some of these things are happening is because of the government ineptitude to govern. And I'm being honest with you. The circulation of guns in Liberia cannot be underestimated. When I spoke, I told somebody, I said, did you pay careful attention to why Liberia has the number of military it has today versus what it was before? Was because when Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took over as president, she did not trust the factional component of war of military men in Liberia. So the woman trusted international forces versus trusting the Liberian people, regardless of how trained they were. So you know what she did? She invested little into the armed forces of Liberia, thereby reducing the size of the army to what it is today. President George Weah, you don't have the presence of the international community. Why didn't you invest into security too? The security component is still the way it is. When you look at all the budgets that are being passed, when you look at the component of the allotment that goes to security, it's not substantial to give the Liberian people the security they need. Better tell me we have a regulation in Liberia when it comes to politics, especially electionary regulations. When we all of us know that if Papi is the TPP party and Papi is conversing in Foya today, if my party is the QAP party, I am not supposed to campaign there while Papi is there. It's an electionary law. So when Papi
Mhm.
is in the district today, I'm not supposed to be there by any means. Because you know what? Our supporters, the political supporters, don't see the way even the people themselves who they campaigning for see the whole thing. Joshua, the very guys that people campaigning for, they can take phone and call one another, they talk to one another, they laugh on the phone,
Correct.
have fun. The
Mhm.
supporters don't communicate like that. If CDC was here and UP show up, that problem. If UP were here, CDC show up, that problem. When ANC was somewhere and UP show, it's like that when it comes to the electionary problem. Situation in Liberia, because of the way we've communicated how people should vote in Liberia and the way to vote, it's not helping the Liberian people. So the messages are not going on right. We condemn the killing, whatever went on, whether they die or they didn't die. We condemn the violence to the strongest form. Nobody should be victimized because of campaign. Whether they call names, whatever they say, the last day of election will determine which side is going to win, regardless of how emotional we got. That's one. Two, I hear Liberians, they use this word constantly. Caveat. And this other politician will come up, let me send a caveat. And somebody will say this, the word caveat have become a bottom line for discussions in Liberia. And then the context from which the word caveat has been used. The Americans have seen that the word caveat have sent out a negative message in the eyes of politics and the governing process in Liberia. Let me send a caveat. This time around, nobody is going to cheat the election with ticket. Let me send a caveat. No opposition party is going to scare me. So caveat has been the umbrella word that politicians have used, and then the message in the caveat has allowed American government to see that the caveat messaging is sending a very strong reception, a reception that could take Liberians back to where they came from, that the world had to come to rescue us. God forbid. God forbid. And I think the message was not just referring to a person. It was referring to the participants of the electoral process. And let me also tell you, you cannot underestimate the potential of any opposition versus the ruling government or the ruling party. You can't say because it is Joshua president today. I'm not a fan of Joshua. I'm not a supporter of Joshua. But Joshua is not the only capable person to stir confusion in the country. While it is true, he holds the mantle of authority to stabilize the governing process, which is lacking right now, but he's not the only person that has the potential to stir instability in the country. So let's look at it from those angles. So this particular message, you don't think the American people monitor the social media platform when, especially Facebook, is owned by American person? They monitor these statements. They monitor the videos. Even right now that me and you talking, the three of us here talking, Papi, Joshua, they monitor all these things. They got people monitoring these various, things emanating from Liberia, Joshua. So they know when somebody posts a threat. When Yeke Koluba, who is, a statesman, who is a lawmaker, comes on popular radio and makes threat, the Liberian people don't see the light aspect of, the American people don't see the light weight of a threat that scares the security of a state. Yeke Koluba, you are ex-fighter or ex-general. Now, if you come out and make statements like the one you made, that if anybody cheats the election, you will take this action, it's scary because we know what you are capable of doing. Arm or no arm. You are a very trained man. You are guerrilla warfare in personnel. You can disarm 50 men that are not trained equivalent to you. You can even march in the city and destabilize a whole police force that is not trained equivalent to you because of the training you got. So whether you get armed or not, we know you are potentially able to destabilize a whole region because of the training you got. So the American government is not taking lightly all of these threats coming in, the caveats. I will go back to something happen. I will do this if this happens, Joshua, Papi. All of these things are posing threats to the Liberian, electionary process. And I don't think some of us who don't belong to any political party see it lightly. I condemn Yeke Koluba. He used to be my guy from the advocacy point of view. I love advocacy. I don't like, the profanity of the advocacy. You can be civil and advocate. Martin Luther King was a civil rights fighter. Martin Luther King was a religious fighter. He fought. He did not use profanity for the Americans to see him as a hero today. Malcolm X did not use profanity, though use some level of force, but he did not use profanity in his advocacy. So, Yeke Koluba, if you are the Liberian people choice, according to the way you say things, you are for the Liberian people. You're not for a particular party. And we respect you because of that. But if you want to advocate, you can condemn the president and his action and his surrogates in the strongest term. But you got to stop causing our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, our women, our wives. Causing Joshua mother, you're not just referring to Joshua alone. You're referring to any sound woman that sits and listens to you. That's it. Look, those words, the way you call it, you can't just call it in our traditional setting. It's forbidden. So I'm a fan of Yeke Koluba when it comes to advocacy, but I disagree with him when it comes to the profanity. So, Joshua, before I turn over, my conclusion in the whole thing is that whatever communication came from the American government was not for a particular person. It was for every participant to the election. The issue in Lofa, even though we have a security apparatus that does not respond adequately when things happen, there are several occurrences of deaths, several occurrences of, mild health treatment to citizens of Liberia. The police will try to pretend like they're in control. They have never been in control. So we don't trust that the police can give us any findings from the deaths of these people or supposed death of these people in Lofa, because they have never done that. They are not credible. The National Police of Liberia is not credible when it comes to policing the way we see it from a global or standard point. I mean, that's just my take, brother.
All right. I mean, powerful wording right there. But before I switch to Papi, for those of you who watching the show and looking at the flyer, James called in. He could not come in today, but we're also expecting Anthony Buaka, who also want to participate on this forum. We just sent you the link, but I, I I may not want to use your word to say they are not credible or they are incompetent, but this is what I want to say on the level of the security. And I agree with you. When George Racking came to power, I thought those were one of the things you were going to focus on security, because on many occasions when something happens in a rural county, it takes forever for the police to come. Then what happened in Lofa? They have to send PSU from Morovia. At the time the police came, people are already gone in the bushes. People going in there very time.
Joshua,
Yeah,
Joshua, let me just hold you there. You see, sometimes when we say there is no way that you will compare the leadership of Mr. George Weah and that of Mrs. Sirleaf. Do you know the reason why Mrs. Sirleaf established the regional hub that was located in Bon County? It was because of, just in case of emergency, specialized trained police officers were posted there. But guess what? Since the coming in of Mr. Weah, they had disbanded that regional hub. And I mean, people are not even concentrating on the regional hub right now. So with the situation in Lofa, the country found it very difficult. They found it very difficult to
yeah.
respond. So it's so saddening. Leadership or governance is about your capacity to be able to protecting the life and property of the citizens that you lead. But this president is weak and is self-centered, and at the end of the day, his concentration is only on how he can be able to admire wealth to the detriment of the Liberian people. I mean, this is a president that took over, like, for example, all those that were, like, for example, election time. You can have, like, people can say the brigade, the this, the that. But I was so shocked. Mr. Weah got elected as president. See what Breeze, for example, who is the deputy EPS director. Where did he get training from that you made him deputy EPS director? Where? All because the men were protecting him during campaign time. Is that a payback? So what happened to those professionals that were trained already at the EPS? What happened to them? Most of those people were left alone. Now you go to the National Police Headquarters. You got professionals that were sent to Israel, to places, to country, to America, Japan, and other places. They are not being used, but rather people from the Sabu units and other auxiliary group that were providing quote unquote militancy protection for George Weah when he was canvassing to be senator, subsequently for president. Those are people that he enlisted. So they don't have the experience. They don't have the experience.
All right,
You
probably
know?
let me just hold you right there. We have been joined by the former vice president of the Liberian community here, Mr. Anthony Buaka. But before I switch to Mr. Buaka, let me just pick in one of your last statement. And you say the president is weak, and I I don't want to present myself here as a partisan or to defend George Weah, but if George Weah was behaving the way we want him to behave in terms of being strong hand, man, we're going to be the same people complaining today. And I also blame him for that because all of the threats that are coming up is as a result of him not behaving the way he's supposed to behave as an African leader. So now that I don't know whether you want to get a good name, you want to get praises for international community that this man he does because they said that's what Sardinia love. They love George Weah. They said the too many freedom of speech in Liberia. The thing that happened in Liberia cannot happen in Sierra Leone because the president he doesn't take anything for granted. But at the end of the day, whatever reason he's doing that, maybe it's best due to his but I think Liberia need a very strong-handed president that will maybe don't curtail most of this stuff. But Mr. Bwaga, I know that this maybe the second topic is interesting to you because it happened very close to your heart. It happened maybe in your community or in your neighbor community. And what is your take on the issue that happened in Lofa yesterday? Two persons allegedly were killed, and police say they are unconscious, but the one I saw this morning seems to me that person will not survive. And it happened in Foya and Lofa County. Between the same people, the same Gizi people, same Labyrint, killing each other because somebody wear t-shirt, somebody wear blue t-shirt. I was just want to just tell me that way. Welcome to the conversation. Mr. Bwaga?
Yes, thank you
Mhm.
for welcoming me. Yeah, are you getting me?
Yeah, we're getting you now.
I first of all want to correct you when you said that the president is weak. The president is not weak. The president is uniquely unqualified to rule this country, so he is not weak. And when you look at the history of what is happening in Foya, you will get to know the development superintendent of Foya said he wanted police commander from CDC, police officer from CDC, the court officer all from CDC so that they can work in line. When they say beat this man, they will beat the person. The current police officer under question right now, he was a bodyguard to Thomas Father. And he was in that meeting. It was from that meeting he was appointed to be police commander in Foya. And you won't believe that this police commander and I from the same town. He's a Loma boy. He's a Loma boy. We from the same town. But the fact that he be working with Thomas Father and he getting things like, to sustain himself, he can do anything. Korea is a dangerous ground right now because of this election. You think about this. These are the same people, the same Kisi people that are divided, killing one another. It's too sad for our country. So if these things be happening, and my friend and brother, Pastor Powell said, Yeka Koruba made a statement. He had a propensity of creating havoc. He said, if this happen, I will do this. So why should we worry if we don't want that to happen? If we think that we will not do that. Yes, he is a gorilla, but he alone cannot fight. You see, CDC started from the 5th. They brought Joseph Barker, they brought the two casket on their head. Can you imagine this mature people behaving like this? And they have gone back to say, oh, this is not happening, this is not happening. If the president was qualified to take over the leadership of this country, this kind of thing, wherever he is, he can just stay there and pass one message. That whole thing required now. But he's not going to speak to it. So the CDC put us in trouble. We are in trouble in Liberia, serious trouble by electing George Weah. That's what I have to say. We are in trouble. It's too sad for our country and the country at large.
All right. I know Kuna want to respond, but let me just say something quick. So, folks, if you're watching, you want to make a contribution, you can call on the number on the number scrolling down. It's 401-654-0146. You want to call in to give in your points. That number is the red number to call. You just look down the screen; it's scrolling down right there. But you said the president is unqualified to govern the country, and you said the police. So let me just dispute something. There is no party police, and this is what we have been doing in time immemorial. Liberian people, we don't like police. That's just a clear call. During Chancellor time, we call them Chancellor police. During Ellington, we said the same. Even the citizens said they were Elling police. These guys, they are professional people. They're trying their best to bring peace and calm to any situation that happen. My only concern and disappointment is they are not in numbers. They don't have the strength to be able to combat issue like what people are saying. The regional hub. If those things were inexistent, you can just fly the minute from Bonn straight in Lofa in less than 45 minutes, 30 minutes, they will already be there. But we don't have that capacity. But to term them as party police, the same police they can also protect our opposition. Listen to the interview this morning. Police were there protecting Joseph Walker. So we should not term them as party police. Because at the end of the day, when Georgia is no more in power, these same people will still need them for the new government that will come. So if we start, terming them as a party police, I think we are not being fair to them. Some of the guys, they come to the policing with clear heart, with professionalism. So to term them as party policing, I don't think that's the first thing. And so the president is not qualified to lead abroad. I want to know your justification. How can a man who is not qualified to lead a country is doing marvelous job for your country, and you say that he is not qualified? But I mean, to the comment you call Kodan E, Kodan, you want to respond to that about the derogatory statement?
Yeah. So
But before Conan comes in, okay, let me just respond to Matthew. You say they are professional people, which I agree. Granted. But they can be compromised. And even professional people can do malpractice. Do you know that?
You asking me?
So where were these professional people when CDC people were doing casting of another party leader walking in front of them, and they could not pull them down, they could not even arrest them to say this will happen? Where were these professional people when 102 were flocked at their party headquarters? They didn't do anything. Where were these professional people when university students were flocked in front of the American embassy? They did nothing. They didn't have no arrests. And these are the same professional people you are talking about here. Are you kidding me? Were they not standing watching? When Terry Ayure was put in the house to be born, were your professional people not standing watching?
All of these instances that you are listening, Tera Ayure was rescued by the same police.
Is that a lie?
But she was still rescued by what we are saying is we have limited security forces. They are very, very limited. But at the end of the day, they're doing their job. But to term them as party police, then tomorrow when you win election, then you call them good police. But because today you are not in power, you term them as party police.
When they work in the interest of the Liberian people, they will be good police.
All
That
right,
means
all right, all right, all right.
everyone.
So June 7, they were good police. The largest protest ever in Liberia, June 7, when police were giving water to the protester, when police were protecting them by the wayside, helping someone and giving them food. That time they were good police. So you wouldn't categorize them when they are on your side. I don't think that's a fair statement. Let's see them as professional people. Even here, most of the incidences that happen here in America that happen between the black people and the police. Sometimes the black people go to the extreme so much that the police they put you how to go against their own will. So to just term them, as party policing, they were my concern. I know there are lapses, but to term the national police as party police, I don't think that's a fair argument. Conan.
Okay, somebody's phone is very basic. So, to brother Tony, I respect your opinion highly. So, Yaka Kolba is my guy. If you don't know, I cherish this guy. I love him so much because he's one of the lawmakers. Like Dara DeLong is in the Senate. He is one of those guys in the legislature. I mean, in the lower house, the House of Representatives. I like him a lot. What I'm saying is that he needs to refine his level of advocacy. We Liberian people are traditionalized people. There's certain words you can't use. In America, you can use MFF. You can use BF. You can use all of those words in America. Those words are inculcated into the American tradition. They don't see it as insult. In Liberia, those words are considered abominable. You can't use them. Least to talk about you calling a woman private part. That's me and you know, if you, Tony, joined the Poor Society like I did, I joined the Poor Society in 1978. And during the Poor Society time, when the men are in section, if you use any profanity in any town or village at that time, they can find you in any of those towns where the Poor Society is. If you just use any word that define the livelihood of a woman or man during the time of the Poor Society, back in the days, they can find you. Used to say you go stay in the town, you get cursed. They can carry you in the man bush. I know me and you know that we old enough to know what I'm talking about. I joined the Poor Society in 1978. So I can tell you for free that there are certain words you're just not allowed to use in the Liberian culture or society. When you're using them, they become, forbiddable. And my guy, Yeke Koluba, that I cherish so much, is in the constant habit of using these, kind of words. Hey, let me tell you, if you don't know, my children live in Yeke Koluba district and they're voting for Yeke Koluba, just so you know. I tell them every day, vote for him. Because the government needs a pressure. Every government needs some form of pressure. Yeke Koluba is one of its kind in the House of Representatives. Void of the use of profanity. Yeke Koluba got too much pressure to put a government on a checklist. So we need people like Yeke Koluba in the House for an opposition. But Yeke Koluba needs to refine his advocacy, Tony. Sometimes you got your wife, your children, your daughters, you're sitting by the radio monitoring Liberian politics. That's some words you just don't want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like Prophet Key, he comes on, and I was telling somebody today, Prophet Key got too many followers. He got up to, 5,000 different followers. And most of those followers are women. But those women sit on a Prophet Key presentation when he uses all of those levels of profanity. They don't see it to be a problem. The society has a problem. When we think that the use of profanity in public spaces are permitted, I don't think we should be there like that. And when it comes to that, I will tell my man Yeke Koluba, you're not going right. You can put pressure on the government. You can advocate. You can say everything. You don't have the right to use profanity. That's one. Two, when I say you don't have the right, because when you use it, you are also, messing with you are, let's say, messing with another person's right. The issue of the threat. Tony, me and you know that there are many ways to tell the government if they cheat the election, you will react without making statements that will make people feel like it is war. The statement that Yeke Koloba made can prove to you that statement by itself means war. We fought the war 14 years. I can assure you the 14 years of the Liberian War, I was there. We moved from one place to another. The part that made the war bad now when every region was forming a warring faction. Yeah, it made us stupid. So we never had any place to run. We're just somewhere now when the bombs are falling, so on this side we had it. What am I saying? So I'm saying this to say Liberians don't want to go back to that square anymore. So if you're fighting for the Liberian people, don't fight in a way that will make them feel threatened. We know George Weah has allowed this whole electionary process to be so opaque that even the international community has seen that there is no fair place into the process. Election is not cheated on the day of election. It is cheated from the process, going to the elections. We had something called censor. Normally, according to our statutes, after every census, the number will come into our, legal system. And then after they adopt the censor, then we have something called the National Election Commission will now take the censor results and redemarcate the populations of the country into electoral district to have their representatives. All of these processes were what? Red flagged. The censor went on without, any justifiable conclusion, and the whole censor was red flagged. The censor was never given credence. NEC did not use the censor results, even though the censor was not held according to the principles or the global standards of holding a censor. Our censor was in complete disarray. And then they still posted results. After the results of the censor were posted, the NEC saw the results as being what? A fragile thing. They did not honor it. The NEC went by the old mapping of the electionary process. And that old mapping is what NEC is still using. So that means they didn't honor the censor results. Now, this is a complete disparity in electionary process. If a censor prior to the election was not honored, and now you are coming out with a population that does not consummate the population that the censor result brought out, it's a conflict right there. The American government has seen all of these processes, and they know that these are things that stir up chaos. The fact that censor was not honorable, and Joshua Kami, don't cut me off because I see you trying to cut me off now. Don't cut me off. The censor results were not credible enough that NEC will honor to do the redemarcation of electoral district. Now NEC itself conducted something called voter registration. The voter registration numbers, they felt that the numbers were also high because there were duplications. And to be honest with you, this is my conjecture understanding of what we call biometrics. I thought biometrics were the exact signs that make people not to duplicate it. But in Liberia, the biometrics have been duplicated. This fingerprint of mine, nobody in the world got my fingerprint. But Liberia said a lie. It was proven that somebody got duplicated fingerprint of mine. It was proven that somebody got the same face or name as mine. So all of the duplications, according to the electionary process, the election commission said they will have to reconcile the whole process to sort out the duplication and weed out the duplication. My narrow understanding does not still give me the understanding to know why after Joshua and I counted the number of people in the room, we saw 10 people, At the end of the day, then we say, no, those 10 people duplicated themselves into what? 20 people. So we got to get the duplicated people out of the 20 to bring it back to 20 to 10. What sense does it make if I'm trying to take the false people out of the 20? Instead of the number coming down, the number goes up. What sense does it make? Oh God, the system being hacked. Okay, this system, people hacking the system because every time we're talking about bad thing, then again change it, then it will go up. It will not go up. So, Papi, Anthony, Joshua, this is where I conclude, right? Instead of the voter registrar listing gave us the reduction of the duplicated people that duplicated themselves, that challenge biometric system in the world, ever in the history of the world, that challenged it and duplicated it. Because in America will never tell you, say, they got two people with the same fingerprint. But our system proves that. Our electionary process proves that. So instead of the number going down now, after they reconcile the old list, to get out the duplicated numbers, the numbers went up in some areas. Why are the numbers going up? That's one. Remember, Joshua, the election commissioners are appointed. So when it comes to governance, who appoints the election commissioners? I am aware in my narrow thinking is the president, right? So if the president appoints the commissioners to electionary processes in Liberia, there have been too many red flags from the voter registration where we use the biometrics to now that they cannot. All the time we'll be in Liberia when we do voter registration, the people can give us some time, 2 months, 3 months before the election, they post the voter registration list. We'll go there, we'll check what our names are misspelled or whatever information is not correct. We'll go back, we'll correct it before elections. The current election chairperson or the national election chairperson refused to post the final voter registration list till now. That UP had to take them to court to say this is a red flag. And then listen, I listened to David Etta Brown, and this is where, Joshua, you come and take over now, please. I just hold your foot there. David Etta Brown used a component in the election law that was very threatening. She said, there is nowhere in the law. And that made me think that what Anthony said, Liberia has been factionalized. And Joshua, you don't want to agree with that, but you have to agree with that. She said there is nowhere in the law that the National Election Commission is supposed to post the FRR on a particular date. We can post it anytime. And then another law came out and said, according to the electionary law, you are right. There is nothing that bounds you to a particular date, but there is something that bounds you to say that if you post the FRR, there should be room 30 days prior to election that people should be given a chance to complain if they see anything wrong with the results of the FRR, so that 30 days they can go to court and do everything. There is a red flag right there. And Joshua, if you don't agree with what Tony said, that's where I'll conclude. Let me tell you, I worked for the MPP government. That was the first political party ever in my life that I stood on the front lines campaigning. 1985, I was just coming up into electionary processes.
Hold on. Let me hear you right.
No, hold on, bro. I come in now.
You put up too many information. Hold on. Keep the 1985. You put up too many information that we need to dissect.
Oh, I just wanted to put a factional part too, so you can add it there.
The medical information until he indict himself.
I know. I'm not indicting myself. I want you to know. I'm not. No, you're not understanding. Look, when it comes to public forums like these, if you made a mistake in the part that defines the abuse use of public operations, it's good to be realistic. And that's where I'm going, bro.
I'm not saying that you did something wrong. I'm just saying that you are part of the other regime.
No, but that's where I'm coming to. I want you to understand the factional part you talk about is true. If Joshua does not even want me to go to me, let me talk about Thomas Fowler a few days ago in Lofa. When you saw the video where he was conversing and he said that they need to politicalize the entire police force, he said that he's on video. Somebody recorded him unknown to him that they need to allow the police commander, the deputy police commander, the police there to be a sedition. Thomas Farah is on a video live saying this, that the entire the entire policing aspect of Liberia needs to be a political lies. They must put partisans in place. He's on video by saying that he's one of the strong supporter and partisans of the CDC. So if this guy
let's have Papito make a closing statement.
Okay, sure. I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to let you know that.
Hold on. Papi, before you go, I just want you to touch bases with some of the issue that couldn't lay out there. Talking about David Eto Brown. I said, my people, talking about David Eto Brown or any commissioner being appointed by the president. They are appointed by the president, but the president cannot control their job. It's their job.
All right.
So appointing them, does not give them any right to cheat or work for the president. We saw it 2020. 2020, Edna Brown, she proved her professionalism. She proved it. Citizen lost every election.
All right.
All the candidates lost. So
she couldn't cheat.
All right. So first of all, with my take on that has to do with the appointment of commissioners or chairperson of the National Elections Commission. There should be an ombudsman that was set up during Mrs. Sirleaf time, and the legislature should have legislated it where an independent body will be set up, void of the president or whoever that is elected, to have interference, because those people, they are there on a tenure basis. And because of that, Mrs. Sirleaf could not appoint, because at that time she had already gone ahead and initiated the ombudsman. That was Dr. Topana Tipote and some others, tend to be corrected, some other professionals that should have worked with the legislature to be able to come out with a framework and to set up an independent body. So with the whole thing of Mr. President coming on doing it at the end of the day to go ahead, commissioners at the National Elections Commission are 5 years, 7 year, 10 year, any already. It was purely unprofessional and it is tempering. The appointment by Mr. President, it was tempering. So the fact of the matter, the president will come to take glory for the ministerial complex, for the completion of the ministerial complex. But things that will bring sanctity and integrity to the nation, and he look at it and sweep it under the carpet, all because of his sinister motive. Because people were around this president or advising him already. Joshua, if we set up an independent body to be able to vet people, to have them appointed to serve on the National Elections Commission, I mean, you saw it. Mr. President, even went as far as bringing a Nigerian man to serve as election commissioner chair. And he was rejected. And at the end of the day, he still took that Nigerian man and sent that Nigerian man to LACC. To the extent where the man even went as far as falsifying our Liberian passport. Falsifying our Liberian passport. I mean, so this is something that these are critical things. At the end of the day, we need to take key and be able to act accordingly. This president or this election, all we want from this president, he out there, he got a helicopter, he's sitting on the resources, he's sitting on a void of the Central Bank of Liberia, taking the money, they're drawing the money, they're taking the money with them. Tomo Farah is a walking ATM machine where he got money in his trunk of money in cars, distributing it. That it distributed well, that the people be convinced to be able to give them the election result that they want. But if the election result, might want to plea to them, if the election result goes contrary, let them be able to respect the rules of law so that they can be able to give way to whoever that will be elected president or whoever that will be elected representative. Thomas Fowler has served 3 tenures as representative already. He jump, go to Lofa, make it set out of a walking ATM machine, wasting money, doing overnight projects from stolen money. At the end of the day, the people are about to make him representative. If he's elected, he will come on Capitol Hill to serve. Because Liberia is the only country on planet Earth. We do not vote for what? Policy. We do not vote for ideas, but rather we follow triviality. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. With less than 9 days to go, it is about time for our people to be able to digest, to critique those candidates, be a representative, be a senator, be a whoever, that will make the informed decision, a decision that will be able to be in the best interest of the Liberian people, void of violence. We condemn violence, and we call on the president to speak. You not call us speak for the Liberian people, Mr. President. Even your campaigning, talk something. They say people die. Talk. You're not bobo. Talk something. Speak to the nation. You are still the CRC of the country. But this president is so dumb. This president is so dumb. And this is sickening. A whole round year, the man will not say anything. What a gruesome activity taking place in the country. He will not say a word until January. Then he go to recite his recitation before the legislature. That is so sad. That is not leadership. That is not leadership. Leader, you are there to represent the dream and aspiration of the Liberian people or of the people that you serve. Not where you will be mute on everything. Even it is bringing integrity issue to the country. This president must speak. 3 presidents now down. Another young man jumped from a car, butt naked. He was about to be killed, butt naked. These are crucial security concerns. The president chief of protocol is being accused of bringing bundle of drugs, but he takes pride bringing her to the UN General Assembly with her. I mean, with him. It's so sad. Liberia is the only country that we have. So everything we can do is to protect the peace and sanity of our country. Let George Weah come out to speak. I know he's riding a helicopter campaigning, saying he declared himself as Barrow medicine. How can a Barrow medicine be flying in helicopter to go in his own country? It's so sad. The worst government, some of us were small at that time, Taylor time, you have OTC that was cleaning road. There was still accessibility. But for now, the rural part of Liberia, the southeastern part, is completely cut off. That this man who declared that he's the best president, he's the Barrow medicine, go as far as flying over the people to go. Ganta and all, you go in helicopter in Ganta? That is so sad. That's why I have to say, and I hope I will follow the discussion. I hope next Saturday, every other Saturday, if we are available, we'll be here to be able to sharpen
it. Thank you. Yeah, well, you know, we are here every Saturday, but before you go, let me just
thank you, Mr. Corley.
So, Corley, your last statement talking about George Weah fly in helicopter, and you just mentioned you fly to Ganta. Ganta Road is not spoiled. Ganta Road is good. From over the Ganta is good.
So
So it's
Le
not a
man went to le man is going to the southeast.
Waga went to Lofa with helicopter.
Where
Why I want to argue about Joe? Yeah, getting into helicopter. Waga
Can I come in now? Can I come in now?
yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to just pick some of the things he said. Maybe somebody monitor the show. Don't know. Reg, are you calling on the show?
Okay.
All right, let me call you back. All right. So a country of 170 before Georgia came to power, no Haru. 170. Yes, indeed, he's a power medicine
Doga.
because there are so many places that he had put out on the ground that you never had before. So that he has not completed connecting your country, does not give you the right to stop him from using helicopter. The road is bad. The road is bad. He's facing it, but it has not been completed yet. So
Le
that's
le le two marrow,
huh?
le two marrow like he completed from a horse to Rehab Junction.
Now all you face?
One. All other one that you got to talk about, it was inherited projects.
I don't let
The
those
money
statements.
already allotted.
The
I
SKD
don't
that you
argument for
have
another time.
Papi, the SKD today, SKD, it was not initiated by Do. It was initiated by his predecessor. But he completed it, he put a knee on it. If you do it well, you don't complete it, that way it's not done. Even in the Bible it says that the end of it is better than the beginning. So if Eddie started something and she didn't finish it, and George you have finished it, you want Eddie to take the glory. She wanna initiate it, just gonna break it ground. Most of the project that George Weah broke ground for, if he doesn't complete them, the next president do it, you can get a glory to George Weah. So why I want to dispute that this man has been doing well? The Ganta Sunny Kode road. If Eddie initiated and never do you know how many market women in Second PA and complete area they have been released from the bondage that they were in many years ago for 170 years. Now their produce can come to town within no time. This is the man
Joshua,
who has got
Joshua,
change.
hold on. Papi, hold on. Let me also make my point, Joshua. Hold on. So please, I'm not a unbalanced, Liberian. I don't like Joshua presidency. But I can tell you for free, if you would think that Joshua did not do anything in Liberia, that's a mistake. Joshua has done some things that past governments have not done. The urban state, and this is where people don't like me, the urban state of Liberia is Morovia. You don't have any urban environment that can be compared to Morovia. Joshua government have earmarked the urban state of Morovia, and they try to develop on the urban state of Morovia. But let me tell you one thing. As a former worker of the UN, operations, according to the UN Security Council or the global UN organization, there are 5 pillars, but I want to stick with 5. Sorry for the word. The first pillar is a peace and security. That's one of the pillars of development in the UN Security Council or the global UN standard. Peace and security.
Yeah.
The next one is human rights. The next one is the rule of law. And then the next one, the fourth one I want to stop on. I'm not going to the fifth one. The fourth one is development. The fourth one, rather. So let me tell you, Joshua have executed one major component of the Security Council development. Guys, don't take that away from Joshua. Joshua is doing well. He's building homes for himself. His other government officials are also building homes for themselves. They're also building public facilities that we can see, right? But now look at the other 3 components. Peace and security. Can we boast that Liberia has peace and security?
No.
Peace, yeah, peace, yeah, peace. But security, no. And I'm saying yes. The yes is dragging because we don't. Once there is insecurity, there is no peace. So peace and security, according to the UN component of global standards of development, Joshua have now upheld to that. Human rights, to some extent, yes. But why is it now? When I said to some extent, why would Joshua feel threatened by a Spoon TV that were coordinating with one of the biggest, platform in the, when I say coordinating, they had the biggest local radio station relaying their program. They got closed down for no reason, only because they were speaking the ills of government. That's not freedom of human rights.
Why
Because
you tell has no reason? They did not pay his bill.
no, that's not
You
bill.
have to pay a bill before you operate.
That was
That's
not
not
Bill.
bill.
That
Joshua, don't blindfold it
It was
over
what?
this issue.
It was what?
It was
was
because
not put it
the
there.
men felt threatened.
But Jovian did not close it down. Somebody sued Spoon. And
No.
in the future, elaborate
That was listen. Those were all the manipulative actions.
no, Jeremy.
There is nowhere in the law that tells you that if somebody got sued for an action, they should be closed down without investigation.
But Jovian, it's not a law.
No, but then the station shooting had been closed while the men were going on an investigation. The men had a lawyer. No, that's hold on to that point. That went all the time. No, listen, Josh. All the time people try to create, the play with that point. Under the law, if you sue me for use of profanity, am I supposed to go to jail because I cuss you?
No.
Or am I supposed to go to court?
You're going to go to court.
Exactly. So when they in the action of Spoon went to jail because they closed the facility down. That was jail. They never had a right to operate until investigation.
Georgia does not work in the judiciary.
Georgia
work in the executive.
He controls it.
And a Liberian citizen.
That's why you really want to go there. Who removed Cabinet Janet? Who removed Cabinet Janet? No, hold on, Tony. I beg you, before you come, let me go back and forth with Joshua. Who removed Cabinet Janet?
It's the law. The
law.
legislature.
Hold on. Let me speak on my lapses. Then you can go on there. Maybe Tony will come in. The rule of law. We don't have the rule of law in Liberia.
Right.
Zogos threatening people in the street. Zogos moving in the homes of people, killing people. Zogos, arresting situation on the major streets of Liberia. People traveling into Liberia and being harassed by Zogos. It's unbearable. The government is incapacitated. And let me tell you, Joshua, you know me, I don't do this, but let me just tell you one thing. I'm a student of management. And in my little understanding of management, I learned that a manager should be proactive, know when to make decisions, know when to speak to situation, know when to conjugate the people involved into the problems. Can you tell me that according to the consolidated formalities of a management, that Joshua has the ability to function as a manager? No.
Yes.
No.
Where you go?
They had red shirters in the country. The president came in when the people met him at the airport and interviewed. He said the whole rest issue that fly rest in the country. Rest in the country.
That was true.
No.
Rest in the country. Business will create a situation to make profit.
Exactly. Then that's your incompetence. That's your incompetence. No, listen. Now let me make my point. You arguing with me, you're not giving me the chance to make my point.
Go ahead.
My point here is, as a good manager, whoever is a business person operate under the principles of your administration. They don't have the right to make decisions above your regulation. If your regulation says this cup must be sold for 5 cents, if you import that thing, you bring it in, you must sell it for 5 cents. If a businessman defy me and I don't take action, I'm incapacitated.
Hold
on. You are doing that.
Let me to the camera.
You see, you don't. Anyway, take it from me.
Oh God. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Powell. I first of all want to go back to what you said initially, that Yeke Koruba, the words that he did in the street from our cultural background, I do agree with you. And that made Lofa County unique because we were in a poor society and we were taught something. You cannot stand in a town and just insult the women going to collect you and carry you somewhere you will pay money or you be disciplined. And woman does not do that also, which is good. But when it comes to this political issue, and sometimes if you can admit, Every callback will say, "But I'm happy doing this kind of thing. People pushing me to go against even my children are having birthday party, they're doing this." So you say that the man is being frustrated, pushed against the wall, he is frustrated. Sometimes he just carry his frustration, all what he said the president is the cause of these things. And secondly, Joshua Power, who have been a good guy if he were not member of CDC. Because CDC is a court. Everyone that associates themselves with CDC will never see wrongdoing. Never. You know that the judiciary have been compromised, but today you are telling us, say, no, 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 no. The law is that he is not the one that did this. He is not the one that did this. But that's why I want you to understand that money plays a lot. Once Brian envelope go to these guys, they can do anything. But then today you are telling us, say, no, that is not the case. Before you and I get to know about government, I'm not talking about learning it in school, but for us to really understand government, to talk about it, maybe it's for Eddie Johnson time or Charles Taylor time. But if I ever do, but if I ask you who was the information minister for Joe, you will be scratching your head. The only most popular man we talk about was Baby Harrison. So besides that, any other person will be scratching your head. I don't know who are the minister for that. But let me tell you now, at that time we used to say the people are corrupt. They are corrupt, the elderly people. But they get the country to the young people. Now we understand that the young people are the potential enemy of the country. The stealing are going on, carrying on everything, and they feed them to destroy their own country. They give them small money to destroy their own country. They bring in drugs for them to destroy their own country. Everyone in the House of Representatives and that of the Senate, the House of Representatives are a little bit above 50, few in 60. All the other guys are all young people. Think about what they are doing over there. Think about it. They are just destroying the country. But under this government, your let's go back to Eddie Johnson Sedita. Eddie Johnson Sedita took over the country that was ungoverned, I think, for 14 years. Everyone, you know it. RPCP, they had their own government. Unimo had their own government. Black Burial had their own government. What the other two? NPP have their own government. So everyone was taking resources and using it for themselves. There was no system, no structure. Until Eddie Johnson said he came in, our government put us on the right path for us to do what we can do for development. What did you people do, Joshua? Your king, you destroy everything that was put in place for your own personal gain.
Thank you.
You know where we heading.
So if you want to compare alien governance structure with the current establishment, a government that came to power where they make their own salary, determine how much they make, and George we are came to power and said none of my ministers made more than 7,000, whereas alien government official they were some minister even making money, some deputy minister making money than the minister proper, and making someone that making money more than even a lawmaker, someone a lawmaker making up to 17,000, creating their own pay, and just you are kind of minimize all of these things, and you want to you want to compare that kind of government when the government own audit chief said that government was more corrupt than an unmonitored government of Judy Bryant, more corrupt than Judy Bryant government, and you want to are you calling on the show?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right. I sent the show you. I sent the message. All right. So, Josh, there are lapses. I would never say on the platform and say there are not lapses. There are lapses. But some of the things are happening. You voted for. When was the last time Yagakoba said anything sound without insulting Josh Weah? That's the only time Yagakoba talk is to come and insult. One time there was a shortage of gas. The speaker put Yega in charge to investigate why there was a shortage of gas. What did Yega do? He reserved on that committee. Yega had never brought anything tangible on the table to say that discussed it, except to call press conference to insult. That's the only time. So most of the lapses that we're having today, no good law, no other thing, is because of the people that were voting as representatives. Joe, that you have one person. You got 73 lawmakers, you got 30 senator. We put them in power to work with George Weah. People will go and go and reach and say, make their own law. You don't even have this George Weah man. George Weah put people in different position to be able to govern, to make the country look. When like you ever saw George Betty, our direct representative in the district number 3. When I ever saw, you never see her why? Because she's making good laws on our behalf to create jobs, to make sure our health system works. When La Yagakoba made one good proposal in his district, when La Yagakoba made one good proposal that will benefit the people of district number 10, except for causing. So the problem in Liberia is not the presidency. It's the 73 plus the 30, 102 or and maybe 5. Those are those 103. Those are the main problem. The people that will put there, but we don't see them. We don't see the we want to see George. We want to see Georgia. All the killing are going on here in Columbus. When I saw Joe Biden come from Washington to come talk into Ohio business, it's the governor.
Let me correct that point, Mr. Powell. Mr. Powell, let me correct that point. You see, it's out of ignorance. It's out of ignorance for rat to challenge cat. And if you start doing comparison about what happened in America and that of Liberia, actually I'm confused. And previously I said you could be a good guy if you were not part of CDC. The 100 and plus lawmaker that you just talked about, the president is bigger than all of them, and they are bigger than the president if they are not compromised. But the fact that they are compromised, everyone wanting money, the president is bigger than them. So when he sent one brown envelope in that place that everyone receiving like 20,000 or 15,000, that whole thing gone.
Who's
not say that? Yet in one of his press conferences, he told you that he had written several communications for it to be placed on the ground. The speaker stepped on it. And he will show you time, he will show you later. But today you are sitting out here saying that Yekakoba had never said anything good.
Show me what.
When are you guys going to be a good guys for this country? That you will say true. Tomorrow, Union Power is listening to you. He will tell you, say, Daddy, was this the government that you were preaching for in this house?
Yeah.
Because he can understand.
I will show you the massive.
He can understand.
I'll show you the Ralphie House because
and you know,
Ralphie House was dark.
Listen,
next time you go out, you see light on that road.
You know, even Yule that we have here, If John Weah had come and said he want to be president, you know that we're not electing. You know that we're not electing. But this is a man that your way of voting for to make him president. Power.
All right,
In your own, think about it.
our,
Tell me the truth. You are
our
sitting here. I know you got a lot of people listening to you.
right.
Be honest to the Liberian people. Is George Weah really qualified to be president?
Yeah, very, very qualified, and he has proven it.
Huh?
He has proven it. But I mean, our time is fast, man. I will allow you people to do your parting statement.
No, you can't even say it now. You are turning your face to the other side. You don't want the people to see your face because this statement going to haunt you tomorrow.
I just told you that George is qualified and he's a blessing to our generation. In my lifetime, that a Liberia will be connected after 170 years. It's honor George Weah, which is a blessing. I worked in rural area for many years. To come back Monrovia it was a big deal in the rainy season. So most of the time we don't take break in the rainy season. But George Weah will make it very easy for the people from Grand Gila to come to Monrovia in no time.
Congratulations. Right
Yeah.
now?
Not right now.
When?
In a row.
When?
In a second time, he'll complete it.
No, not two time.
Let me have your party statement.
The men are good old man sing. And you know, the snow, I mean, those access saw that they can put on the quota here that can dig all over the Georgia.
Go on. Let me have your party.
Okay, I'm going.
I thought Tony was doing his closing.
Yeah, let me do mine.
Yeah, close.
So all I want to say here is like the people of Lofa County, the incident yesterday is we condemn it in the high potential that this should not happen and it should not happen. The police force in Lofa County or the security force should try to hold everything under control. We are all the same people. I mean, it's just about us having the democratic exercise. Anyone that wins the election, let that person be the president. So for us going against one another, it's not fair. The whole country, it's not about Lofa County, but I'm speaking to the whole country for that matter. Anybody that win election, that person is the president. We wait for another 6 years. But for us to be killing one another is not helpful. And again, I'm sending this message to all Liberians that are in Liberia today. Please do not vote for George Weah. George Weah is not a good candidate. If you vote for George Weah, that means you are voting for the drugs that they are bringing in the country. If you vote for George Weah, you want your country to remain like that. If you vote for George Weah, you want him to give more property than the country being developed. Please, come October 10th, let us go out and vote Joseph Human Barker, which is just number 2. Don't even waste your time to go all the way to 18 checking. It's a waste of time. Just stop to 2. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Barker.
That's the reason why election commission carry him all the way to 18. They don't want you people to struggle yourself, use your energy to go down track. Forget about him.
All right. Go on. Go on, you are muted. All right.
Okay. Thank you, brother. My man, they think you put in front of her confusing me. I can't even see y'all.
Yeah, he don't want you to talk.
I can't see myself. Yeah, Chief. Yeah. So, but on a serious note, I just want to say we condemn the incident in Lofar. We condemn the loss of Liberian lives. I think it should be the paramount concern of the Liberian government, which we think every well-meaning Liberian should give credence to. It is not a good thing that somebody leaves their home in the morning with the expectation of going back and they're not going back only because they're being declared dead. It's not a good thing. We should condemn it in the strongest term, void politics. Um, Secondly, like I said, and I repeat, the Liberian National Police is not a credible institution. It has been factionalized. The Liberian National Police has several components. It is manifested by the actions that you, Joshua, spoke about when Tony made his point. That when Terry Ure had the incident, who did they call? But we're interested to know that Madam Yomblin Kaka Lawrence, who made a call, she was also calling people that were loyal to who? Her, not the government of Liberia. The police were present when Madam Terry Ure was being terrorized, almost to killing her. The police was there, but the police could not rescue her. Madam Kanga Lawrence had to call a different set of police, and that police were loyal to who? Her. Probably the Liberty Party, or maybe her as a government official, or maybe her husband, Mr. Adolph Lawrence, or whoever that person was. But she made a call to a different set of police people, minus the police people that were present. And that was that neutral police group that came to rescue Madame Terra Ure. And I think that's not policing. Any police can rescue a Liberian because that's what they were paid for, they were trained for, to save life and property. So I think our police force have been factionalized, and our historicity is another thing you give credence to. People judge a particular thing according to the pattern it sets in its history. When you look at our pattern in the national policing of Liberia, they have never picked a case that have caused a national, panic that it will start from the end and end it. I mean, start from the beginning and end it. Never. The issue of the guns that the Liberian police display on social media as an other thing. Till today, we don't know who possessed the gun, where did the guns go. The national police will come in the public to make Liberians know that this thing happened, but they will not tell you the findings of that thing. And I think it's an ineptitude of a functional component of government to, display such incompetence. I'm not a policeman, and Joshua, you didn't want to hear my story. I'll keep my story for another day. I can tell you that every party that takes over, they appoint people to position, regardless of whether you qualify to take the position or not. Once you partisan, they take it. All those very, components in Liberia, the head must be our partisan. If you're not our partisan, you know the word very well. You got to be loyal to us. You got to sign a MOU internally that you will give your support to us. If you can't do that, we'll buy you down. So, Joshua, our national police have been factionalized. And it is proven that according to the 4 components the UN looks at for development, that our president and his government have now yielded to 3 of them. I didn't talk about the 5 pillars. I just talked about the 4 pillars. He put his mind on development more than he thinks about security, more than he thinks about the rule of law. And there is no, Joshua, make a research and debunk me on another day. There is no country that you will try to develop when there is no rule of law you expect the development to hold. The great United States you're in, you see the rule of law to what extent it is being upheld. You can't threaten the security of the American people. You can't. They will put you on a checkmate rather. You can't pose any threat to the existence of a particular region. They will post you on a checkmate. And the inability to do it, and let me be frank with you. Yeke Koluba sitting in his seat and threatening the Liberian people is not right. But you know why Yeke is doing it? Because Joshua is lazy. Joshua is weak. Joshua is scared to react. That if he tries to react to Yeke Koluba, Liberia will be on a chaotic state. So he's afraid. That makes him incapable. Nobody should be above the law. Nobody should be above the governing precedents, the governing principles of a president. Nobody should threaten a country, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter your position in government. So this is what I have to say to the Liberian people. My Liberian people, When you come across the video, I just want you to know that election time. Me, I'm not supporter of any party, but I say Joe, need to go rest more because Joe, get too many people that are making the country bad, including himself. We need somebody new to come inside and change the way Joe are doing things. We don't know who get it because Joe said we saw him from the beginning. We said he would do better, and he did his best. In life, nobody does more than their best. But Joshua best was not best enough to make us satisfied. So that how we got to change him. Because his best is limited to our satisfaction. So that time for us to let Joshua go, my Liberian people, we bring new person. We got plenty of opposition people. I don't know who you want. But just vote one opposition person. So Joshua can go. I beg you, my Liberian people.
Thank you.
No, don't tell me thank you. Let me end up. All my children are in Yaka Calabar district. I told you and I want to tell you. Yaka could cost my cost. I don't like it. Yaka Calabar can do plenty things. I don't like it. But y'all vote for Yaka Calabar. You know why? Any government that not get fire under their foot, they will not see their mistakes. Yaka Calabar have been that person that made Joe we have to see most of the mistake. Even when he tried to make it not to seem as a mistake, he can see it and know. People that like Yaka Calabar, they are whistleblower. They can see the wrong thing, they say it, and then you always see it. You let Paul Yaka Calabar buy in the house. I beg you. Anybody that know me from district number 10, you know me and you are friendly with me, I've been in connection with you. Please vote for Yaka Calabar. Yaka Calabar, I'm the only person I'm campaigning for. Y'all vote for him. Because the government, or any government needs somebody like Yaka Calabar. That my brother, y'all vote for him. That's what I got to say. God bless us all.
Thank you very much. Folks, if you just joining on, this is the conversation I have some very good men here with me today. My co-host, James Kodan and Mr. Anthony Buakai. Papi Collie was here previously when he left. But let me just give my own parting statement. It was a very good show. I want to join the gentleman to say we condemn the act that happened in Lofa. We are sorry for the death of all the whatever condition those people they found themselves in. I always tell people, no political leader, no politician except worth your life. I don't care how much I love Georgia. I can number one, I can easily get in the street to go protect for Georgia. I'll never do that. So don't jeopardize your life for a politician. It doesn't worth it. At the end of the day, the citizens are there. Tomorrow, citizens will go to work campaign. If tomorrow that win, he might not even go visit your family people. He might not even he may not even say know you. So to go and kill yourself for a politician to win election, I feel that you are not just doing yourself injustice. Number two, the letter that was sent to Liberia is not for one person. That letter is intended for everybody, including Joseph Boakai, George Weah, anybody you can call about, anybody who will bring trouble to the peace of Liberia. That letter is for you. When you cause a trouble, you're not able to leave Liberia to come to the US. You're not able to get visa because why? They don't want you to cause trouble here and then you go somewhere and say, I will, I will go and harm my family. No. So that letter, that time trap. So people who celebrating that letter know that it's not for the government. Matter of fact, that letter is not even for peaceful Liberian citizens. You can travel to the US if you get visit, you can come. They're not sending you. They're only for people who think they want to rig the election, they want to destroy the election, they want to cause violence and chaos in that country. So that letter is just a caveat that my man James will say to everybody. Let me just clear your mind. The Liberian National Police is a professional organization. They are not compromised. They are doing their job. They have lapses. We will work on them. We hope that the government can see reason to put more money into the force to build our security. Even me, I'm concerned about security. Doing Dota, all the barriers, they were all functional. The Bassa barrier was functional. Bombing barrier was one of the best barriers. I want to see all the barriers come out of life. So we want everybody to have a fair share of whatever that is happening in that country. But don't see your police as a government associated folks. Go and vote wisely. These two people tell you who to vote for. Go and vote wisely. Library for everybody. The person you will vote for will determine what kind of library we'll have tomorrow. That's what I got to tell you. Be a good citizen, stay away from trouble. Number 18 is George Weah. Vote George Weah for continuation of his legacy to build roads. Road number one. Like, me, when one reason something George Weah for road. Let's connect Liberia. Let's build the road. That connect Baga Hunta from Foya all the way to Bond. That connect it. Then maybe in from bombing, we get extend the road. You know, that build bigger.
No, they're not for road. I think they're for course. They're for course. We voted George Weah for course.
But for that was a very beautiful show. We'll see you on next Saturday. That come and discuss what concerns Liberia and what is unfolding in Liberia. Have a wonderful time, gentlemen. Vote George Weah, President of Liberia, for development. Let's vote for development, not personal gain. Don't vote for your friend. All right, folks. Thank you, Morris Jebbe. Let me just put someone comment and then come up. Morris Jebbe say you just go for number one. Watching for Yekipa, Nima County. So we can see in the future. We can see tomorrow. Beautiful crowd music. Lodi. All right, for God bless you.